start recording it.
Which one? The gay rights one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Shoot, where did I put it?
Oh yeah,
And the
because
question,
there's like.
what does it mean for the question? It says describe the constitutional argument for prohibiting the outline of homosexual behavior.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that real quick?
You gotta say loud.
Oh.
Or just put your thing in. I'm trying to pull it up right now.
Oh yeah, and I should pull up the direct democracy study guide too.
Oh, is that on the Tuesday readings?
Yeah, that's Tuesday is direct democracy, and for that we're just gonna do like
What's
the
good, Brian?
concepts.
Brian's here.
Okay.
My buddy Brian.
So I'm gonna make a new I'll make a new doc in the drive that we can write on for the direct democracy.
For Tuesdays? Okay. Because I
have another
know.
study guide for it.
Yeah.
Like my more thorough one compared to the professors, but
Oh.
I feel like we're probably gonna barely get to like the definitions today.
Yeah.
Just knowing how things go.
That one was probably the hardest one for me, like the Federalist 10.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
That was just like really confusing.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to look at that again.
And there was just a lot of reading, so
Yeah.
I didn't really get to Tuesdays very much.
Yeah.
I did R1, but I didn't do the other two.
Okay. Here, let me see if
Oh, we'll be recording.
log in here. And then, oh hi Brian and Andrea and people are here. I'm still like pulling up things right now. I heard like you like Jordan being excited that Brian's here, but I didn't realize that Andrea's here too. Why aren't you excited about her?
Andrea! Brian! Who else is here?
Did you put your thing on?
No. They can hear me, right?
They can hear. You can hear it off this?
I can hear him perfectly through yours.
Really?
Wait, Amber, talk.
Like he's talking?
Yeah, because like I know he's muted on his, but I can hear him perfectly through you.
You see his butt?
Yes. Let me find that other direct democracy study guide and then put it on the drive so then I can put the vocab words with that as well.
Okay.
So then it's like one document, so you're not searching around.
Yeah, because there was a lot of vocab.
Yeah. And because like the biggest things are like the ones that are related to whatchamacallit, like California and like our direct democracy with like initiatives and like recalls and referendums, but we'll get to that. Direct democracy.
We logging on to the Civil Rights Study Guide, right? On the document.
Yeah, if everybody could open up the Civil Rights Study Guide on Google Docs, that would be great. Because I want to start with that. I'm just working on. Oh, okay. It's the factions one. All right. Okay, let me upload this.
Oh, we got Joseph.
Hey guys.
Brian, you're frozen.
I'm scared right now, Brian.
I just stand like this. I wasn't actually frozen. That's just default.
Yeah, no, it's just because the shitty default ARC like Wi-Fi.
You're making me cry.
Turning my video off. I feel oppressed.
No, I'm sorry. No, it was just funny.
Don't bully Brian. This is a welcoming environment, guys.
No, Brian, you're awesome. It's just you weren't moving.
Yeah, my tablet gets mad when I try and do other things on it other than keep the zoom up.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's
Well,
funny.
since you're on your tablet and stuff, like when we're on like doing like the study guide stuff, just like turn off the camera and just have the audio going, because then it'll probably be easier for you.
Right. Wouldn't want to scare anybody.
It's just you were making a weird face. Not to be rude, I'm sorry, but
Well, thank you.
Okay, cool. And then so this is all set up. All right. So
what do you need to
democracy
target?
is all set up, so then we can do that once we're done with civil rights. Is everybody on the civil rights study guide?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Then I will. Okay, so we have. How many people are here right now? So we have 6 people on here, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, well we have 7 things, but Amber and Jordan already defined the 13th, the amendments, so we're gonna skip that one. So
Actually, it was just me.
I'm gonna put you guys in the breakout rooms, but I'm just going to do it manually and just have Amber and Jordan, since you're already in the same room, we'll have you guys work together.
Okay.
I know. What a drag.
You're so mean to me.
Oh, you should have seen earlier. She was very nice.
I can.
You guys just gotta be polite, you know. Work together.
She thinks you're being serious.
I know you guys are joking.
No.
And then, all right. And so, did Jordan and Amber, did you guys finish the Roe v. Wade question, or are you still working on that one?
We're working on the
Where
Roe
is
v.
it?
Wade and the Brown versus Board.
He started the Brown versus Board, but we can do that one too. The
Okay.
Roe v. Wade, because we read them, but we didn't start that one.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have you guys
Do those two?
do those 2, yeah.
Okay.
And then so I can't actually, so I like under Roe v. Wade and Brown, what are the next 2?
Terror in the Skies, the 5 Fifths Clause, and then Lawrence versus Texas.
Okay. So actually, Amber and Jordan, you guys just polish up Roe v. Wade, and explain why number 2 is the reason why it is.
We actually didn't start that one. We started the Brown versus Board of Education.
Okay.
Like,
I'll
we
have
wrote that,
you-
like,
okay.
little part, but
I'll have you guys do Brown
Do
v.
that one.
Board and explain why that multiple choice is the answer it is.
okay.
And then Brian and Joanna, I'm gonna have you do Roe v. Wade and Terror in the Skies.
Okay.
And then Andrea and Joseph, I'm gonna have you do 5 Fifths Clause and Lawrence v. Texas. Sound good? All right, I'm gonna open all the rooms now. And I'm gonna check in on all of you guys to make sure that you're doing good. All right?
All right.
Okay.
And this will just take however long it takes to fill it out. Hey, Vivian. Oops, sorry. Hey, Vivian.
Hi. And
So-
Rita's here too. Hi.
Hey there. So, I'm actually having you guys work on the questions from the Civil Rights Study Guide on the Google Drive. And so, since you guys are there together, you can work on it. You guys can be partners, and so right now, let me see where people are. I am so. Did you guys get read whatchamacallit, Terror in the Skies? The
Sure.
first online article?
Is that R1?
Yeah.
I
did.
Okay, cool. So I want you guys to work on the questions for those, okay?
For the one for reading one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if there's somebody else like answering it and stuff like that, just separate your answers. That way you guys can both like kind of give your own opinions on the question.
And I could find that on the Google Docs you shared with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
You go on your drive and then.
Should I get off of this and then meet back or?
I would. Well, can you not get onto the Google Drive with this
Oh.
open?
I'm getting on the Google Drive right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep. And since you guys are together, I'm not gonna assign you to a breakout room.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna keep you here
Okay.
Oh, okay, okay.
because you guys are partners, right?
Okay.
This way.
The
So let me see.
study guide. Cool. Wait, Vanessa.
Yeah.
Sorry to bother you, but so the professor assigned 11 points extra credit on Wednesday, and it's during the time where we have the SI class. And I was trying to go. Would that be okay if I go to the?
Definitely. And I want make sure help me remind myself to whatchamacallit, make that announcement to people at the end of the class.
Okay.
Because I want you all to be able to get 11 points of extra credit because that's
Yeah.
like a third of the possible extra credit points.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, definitely for sure.
Okay. Cool.
And then
Internet, don't give up on me right now. Hold on, let me
And so for R1, just like try to answer the first question that's on the study guide. And it's just like saying like what connections do you see between the three articles?
Okay.
Okay, let me pull up on my
Are you mentioning the question that goes along with R1 or the one on that's
the one that's on the study guide.
okay. Okay. Because
Yeah.
it was taking a while for it to load.
And that's why I was like, okay, I'm just gonna let you know in case.
Okay.
So just try to find the connections that you see in these.
Okay. And actually,
Let me write. I'll just write,
and how long do we have in order to answer these?
well, I was gonna have everybody get together at 6:20, but I'm gonna give you guys like 5 more minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so
Oh, so actually, R1 is Brown v. Board, not Terror in the Skies.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what? Just delete that, and we're all gonna join together, okay?
Okay,
Don't,
yeah.
Don't even worry.
I was like, what are they talking about? Or, like, I asked, and the R1 was.
Yeah, let's just get back together and like.
Okay.
I'm messing things up, and one day.
Wait, were you answering the?
So she was answering Brown v. Board, and so it's just Monday mistakes.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, because then everyone was talking about like Muslims and stuff, and I was like, okay, R1 is talking about
Yeah.
segregation in schools.
Yeah.
Yeah. For R1, I was like, I don't remember reading that. Like, I know we talked about schools and segregation and stuff, yeah, but I don't remember talking about Muslims inside this article.
Yeah, and so that is because there used to be a book that he assigned that had all the court cases in it, and so they didn't used to be online articles, and so like my own study guides are like out of date. So, but once Brian and Joanna join us. All right, cool. And then I'm gonna share this screen, and we're gonna look on over this. Okay. So, Jordan and Amber, can you guys switch off and tell us about the 13th, 14th, and the 15th Amendments?
Yes. You want me to read it?
Yeah, just read it.
All right. Main slavery and involuntary. Oh my gosh.
Can you hear him?
Yeah.
Okay.
If people can't hear him, let us know, and then we'll have him use his own.
Because I could say it.
Yeah.
Can you? Okay, so the 13th, do you want me to say it then?
That's in my class.
Oh, are they? Okay, so the 13th Amendment made slavery an involuntary servitude, which I put it in parentheses what that means, and it's person laboring against the person's will to benefit another, illegal everywhere in the United States. And then the 14th Amendment addresses many aspects of citizenship and the rights of citizens. So that was like our article. So that would include like the Brown versus Board of Education, and then like the Roe versus Wade, and all of those that like fought for civil rights.
Yeah,
And then
it ensures that all citizens must be treated equally, right?
yeah. And then the 15th Amendment, the right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude.
So everybody has the right to vote. They cannot be kept from it, no matter who they are, based on race.
Unless they're under the age.
Unless they're underage and unless they're women, according to the 15th Amendment.
Or in jail.
Or in jail. Because unfortunately, it wasn't until the 20th Amendment, the 19th Amendment, that women got the right to vote in 1920. And then so when did civil rights become part of the Constitution?
We said the adoption of the 14th Amendment, because that was that the date of Brown versus Board of Education?
No. And so,
or which one was that?
So actually,
or was it none?
So no, you're right. B is the correct answer for this. But the 14th Amendment was put into place in 1868. Brown v. Board of Education, let's see if it actually shows on, so, it's really, okay, so what's very surprising is that it doesn't include the date, for this case. When you guys look at court cases and stuff in this class and in other classes, if there isn't a date, look it up, because that gives a lot of context. and I mean, you guys don't know that, you didn't know this until right now, so I don't blame you. You guys are baby scholars, you're learning.
Wasn't it 1950 at the Board of Education? It
So-
ended in 1954.
So
It's right up there.
it says that
1955. I was way off. Sorry.
no, you're okay.
No,
So-
but they used the 14th Amendment right to win, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what
where
that justifies
messed up.
it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, even though we had this amendment in place in 1868, it took almost 100 years later to actually have desegregation because it was considered separate but equal. So let's go back to that. And so, yeah, but the 14th Amendment is what brought civil rights as a concept into the Constitution. You know, citizens all have rights to participate in, well, it's actually the 14th and the 15th, but they happen at like the same time. So, and they ensured people's right to vote and participate politically and be treated equally. So yeah. All right. Roe v. Wade. Who can? You guys please tell us about Roe v. Wade. Joanna and Brian.
So,
Okay. Wait, who's going?
1 second. I'm getting my thoughts together. Um,
What was the issue to be decided here?
well, it was about abortion,
Yeah.
and whether or not that was a matter that fell under the 14th Amendment.
And so, and then it was justified because it was a right to privacy. But where's this right to privacy found in the Constitution?
Well, it's not technically.
Not really.
It's implied that a person has, and this is what I was trying to get together to describe. I'm not going to do a very good job, but I'd have to go back and read the 14th Amendment. I'm not that fast on my tablet, but essentially it's just an implied liberty that a person has, the ability to be left alone, essentially at their home. And this court argument settled that abortion was part of that right.
Yeah.
As far as the states will legislate beyond, what trimester the woman's in, and then the opinions of a medical professional.
Mhm.
And so, do you believe that the main issue of Roe was like liberty from the state power, liberty as an individual, or equality under the law?
Well, we said equality under the law,
Yeah.
and we wanted to go grab a couple of examples, but also wanted to get our second part done before it was too late.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, why did you say it's equality?
Mostly just because the right to privacy from any government is more of a universal attribute, and I guess you could also describe it as being, liberty from state power concerning how those states are the ones that decide how to regulate and at what point is a woman, not to be provided or required to have the child, like what trimester or what, how far they want to take that legislation, because it was left up to the states to decide how far they want to take it under certain conditions.
So it sounds like the state still had an amount of power, but
Right.
it's more about treating women as equally as men under the law.
Right.
All right, sounds good. Does anybody have anything else to add, or you guys agree with them?
No, it sounds good.
All right, let's head on down to Brownview Board of Education.
Well, I'll tell you
Okay. Do you want the?
I'll
I'll hold it close to you.
and I'm just gonna. You guys can hear me, right?
Yep.
Yep.
So the Brown versus Board of Education. So this was a court case from a father that wanted to enroll his black daughter, who was 5 years old, into an all-white elementary school, and they refused.
Can you speak up a little bit?
That they refused her access pretty much, and so he made it a court case, and they went all the way up to the Supreme. Or didn't it start with the Supreme Court, or did it go up to the Supreme Court?
It went up to the Supreme Court. That's the highest court.
Yeah.
In the nation, because it's the federal court rather than, because we'll get to this later when we get to the judiciary, but the way things go is like
you have to work your way up.
Yeah, city, county, state, then federal.
So couldn't find where did it start with, the city or county?
I'm pretty sure it started as a county issue.
Okay.
He did his insight on this.
Jeez. Clarifying.
Quick question. So the Supreme Court is a federal court?
Yes, the Supreme Court is federal court. And there are state Supreme Courts, and that decides state law, while the Supreme Court decides national law, because it's the federal court. Whenever you hear federal, think national.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good.
And so I can't remember his name, but he died before the ruling. The Chief Justice. And so they had to appoint a new one, which was what's his name? Warren. And so I think that this may have had a change to the ruling, because obviously he's from California. California is a democratic state. And so he was for equal rights. And so I think that this may have changed the outcome of this court case.
Okay, so you're saying he probably participated more in judicial activism rather than.
Yes.
All right.
And so the Supreme Court decided that it was unconstitutional to separate blacks and whites, because it went against the 14th Amendment, which wanted to treat its citizens to be equal. And that this was an important event that started the civil rights movement.
I would say it kick-started.
Okay.
And then, as you guys said, it relates to civil rights by giving every race equal right to education.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's move on down to R1, Terror in the Skies. So Ryan and Joanna.
What?
So, can you please tell us what the connection you saw between the three articles?
And they were all against Muslims. And they all affected each person significantly in the self-value and the views of Muslims specifically, I guess.
Could you guys tell us briefly what the different little stories were?
I remember the last one was about the comedian Ahmed, who had travel for his shows and has a name that was frequently used, by anonymous, supporters of terrorist groups. And
How was he affected by
well, his daughter saw that.
Islamophobia in America?
Oh.
Because that was kind of the theme of the articles, right? Was Islamophobia in
Right.
America?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it really made him feel and the rest of his family feel like they were being oppressed.
Yeah, like when he went on flights and stuff like that, what did he have to do when he wanted to get to a show on time?
He'd have to show up go early, essentially.
Yeah, he'd have to go a couple days early so that because he'd be randomly checked and detained, and he would miss his flight. And so he'd often have to go a lot earlier. That way he could just even make his flight. And then, do you guys remember what happened with the Annie Jacobson when she was on the flight with a bunch of Muslim men.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was the one where they saw a bunch of the 14 different people doing some weird coordination between the bathrooms and like stuff that they were carrying to combine things into potentially dangerous weapon.
And then what did it turn out to be?
Well, they pulled them aside afterwards, all 14 of the guys, and it was a test run. It was to see whether or not they could do this. And so I don't think they were carrying anything actually dangerous. They were just seeing if their movements could be rehearsed and, done without being detained or being stopped. I forget whether they had anything dangerous actually.
They didn't check because they weren't allowed to check.
Oh, that seems kind of.
But wasn't one of them that they were actually a group of musicians and that their bases were instruments?
Yeah.
Oh.
It says that they were musicians, but they had one, one-way flight to wherever they were going. And then they thought that was just like a cover-up because in the next couple days later they had a one-way flight to another place.
Yeah, and I thought the musicians were innocent, but
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Because I remember when I read it, they seemed to be innocent, and that her fear seemed kind of like surprised. I don't know. Did you guys get that when you read it, or am I just remembering wrong?
Let me just go back to the very end of that article.
Yeah.
So that was the first one. So the last lines. Okay, so the question is, do I think these men were musicians? I'll let you decide, but I wonder if 19 terrorists can learn to fly airplanes into buildings, couldn't 14 terrorists learn to play instruments? So I'm not really sure what she meant by that, because it seems like the musician thing was a cover story for them, concerning the reports that came out after the event that these passengers were rehearsing something.
Yeah.
And so I think
that last do you see at the end? The end, how it says 2 days later they were scheduled to fly back on another one-way ticket.
Yeah, and so
I don't know. That just made me think that they were just not musicians. Because then before that, she talked about how they didn't check the contents of her son's backpack or things like that, so they could have put other things in the McDonald's bag and.
Yeah, and so it was kind of just left up to deciding.
And then.
You have something to say, Jordan? You raised your hand.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay, never mind. But go on, Brian.
So I was like,
And then I don't think anywhere in there did it mention they were carrying any kind of instrument case.
they did.
Oh no, they did. There it is.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But okay, yeah, no. So this was more of a let you decide kind of. Yeah.
Suspicious.
So, it sounds like you guys think that Annie's fears were reasonable.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So can you, so the question is, are Annie Jacobson's fears reasonable ones? Do you think she would support the research activities of Homeland Security described in the second article and the enforcement activities of Homeland Security described in the third? Why?
Okay.
You had your answer. Would you like to read it?
Yeah, but I didn't really finish the last or the other sentences. But I said that her fears were reasonable because of all the recent terrorist attacks. from the Muslim terrorist, and she wasn't really trying to be racist, but she was concerned. And I mean, she was probably obviously she was probably a little racist, but I said if it was any other race doing the same thing and not that the Muslim men were doing, I feel like anyone would be concerned. Even though, I don't know. And then I said that she would support the research activities of the Homeland Security because she believed that the men on the plane were terrorists and should be further investigated. But, and then I didn't finish.
Okay. Did you have anything you wanted to add at the end?
No.
Right.
I
And
don't
so,
know.
oh, sorry. Did you want to say something?
No, it's okay.
Okay. Brian, did you want to add on to this?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Can I add something?
Yeah, totally. Go, Vivian.
Okay, so
I mean, Rita, but because you,
Oh.
you have the it's like I saw like the Vivian's iPhone thing, so I was like, okay, Rita, sorry.
so I just want to add, like, I think what made her, like, Annie crying and stuff was because, like, how they were looking at each other too, like they were giving each other eye contact, which made it like kind of suspicious too, like, you know, like they're planning something. But yeah, that's, I don't know. And I don't really, what was inside the McDonald's bag? Was this McDonald's or?
I think
They
so.
don't know.
Yeah, they don't know because they weren't able to check.
Yeah. 'Cause that's prejudice.
Oh. Okay, that's it.
And then, do anybody else have a differing opinion, or are you in consensus?
Well, I have a question. What are the enforcement activities?
Oh, so that was like what was happening to the comedian, you know, him being randomly checked and stuff like that, and like
Yeah.
people of what you call it, people who look Muslim or are Muslim, depending on the way that they're dressing, usually are targeted more so by Homeland Security and the TSA agents because of this fear. And then, and so, how would you like to see our government handle terrorist threat posed by certain extremist Muslim groups? And then, Joanna, you said that there should be some practical moves
yeah.
at airports.
So it was letting me type, and then it stopped letting me type. So I can't. It's not letting me type anymore.
Do you want
I
to
could
finish?
click on it. It was just that, and then like just having more restrictions, like what to carry, and just be more stricter. I forgot. I was gonna put something else, and I forgot what I was gonna put. So.
Did you want to say something, Brian?
Well, we were, this was like the tail ends of our thoughts that we had tried to put out before we jumped back into here. But yeah, so like she was saying, it's hard to cover everything, and especially to do so without being racist. But you can certainly be, as they have done already, more strict across the board, across the spectrum of everybody. And so, you know, I wouldn't actually mind if they were more thorough. You know, we already have this culture of showing up early to our flights and, you know, preparing to get there well before so that we could give time for proper security. And I mean, I don't think anybody would complain. I think we would just adapt and say, okay, yeah, well, this is, you know, now a thing. It's now part of our culture.
Just as long as it equally goes to everyone.
What was that, Jordan?
Nope.
Just as long as it goes equally to everyone.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's people out there that are racist, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how you check that for, let's say, to get the job, you know?
Because, yeah, unfortunately, unless this is, you know, actually carried across the board, there will be some people who will see this and take advantage, like if there is a specification towards any sort of ethnicity, then there will be some people that will take advantage of that and be like, oh, well, I can be racist and be justified in it.
Yeah.
So,
and actually, I have an example of, I was actually at the airport, I think it was a year ago, and I got randomly searched. And so I think that's something that they could maybe, they're already doing, is that every 50 people they see,
Mhm.
they do a random search on some person.
That would
But the
be-
articles were written in 2004 anyways. I mean, obviously there's been improvements.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because, I mean, well, yeah, and like, one also wonders if we're having a bit of overkill on our airplanes. You know, it's like that kind of the fear of shark attacks, you know.
Yeah.
We had that one big moment, and so now we're super afraid of it, and we haven't had it happen again. But one might also argue that's because of our new security measures. So,
But we have other attacks though, like not just that, like a big one.
yeah, and so it's, well, there haven't been any airplane hijackings,
Well, no, but
and so that's what I mean by the airplane check being a little too much.
Wait.
But we need to move on to the next ones because we're running out of time.
Yeah.
And so this was the 5/5 clause. This was the one where there is a prison being set up in remote, like kind of rural areas. And Andrea, you wrote about this one?
So basically what I put is that, so the reason for this is that white majority areas, like you were saying, they're rural, so they tend to be less populated than other like racially mixed areas like I don't know, just like bigger cities in general.
Yeah, urban areas tend to be more racially diverse, while the more rural you go, the less racially diverse you'll get.
Yeah. Like San Francisco.
So I said that the effect this has is that it makes the white majority appear larger politically than they were if they like were in another, like in an urban area. They would have less political power as opposed to being like white, being in an all-white community.
So how are they getting some more power? What's happening?
They're basically using the numbers of the prisoners to make it seem like there's more people living there. So when people actually go vote for issues and stuff like that, they're like their representation counts for more, even though they're not all the prisoners are standing up for the same things that those like white majority want. Make sense?
Yeah, because usually what the people, rural white people, will want very different things from ethnically diverse people from urban areas who have been in prison and have dealt with the system and everything. And so their political wants are going to be very different, and yet their personhood is being used by these people to gain more representation. And so, how is this a matter of civil rights?
So I put it's a matter of civil rights because it's unfair that they're using like you said, the personhood to gain more political power. So it's like they're using them for their gain, and voting for issues that it matters to them and not, so kind of like excluding them. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Did anybody have anything that they wanted to add about this article? Or are you ready to move on to the last one? All right. So, big old one, Lawrence v. Texas. So, Joseph, could you tell us what this issue was real quick before we get into the question?
This was a discussion about whether or not homosexual behavior should be like a criminal activity.
And so, what was the constitutional argument for prohibiting the outlawing of homosexual behavior? So, what took away the ban from sodomy?
I believe that they were arguing that they were saying that homosexual behavior was like based on the ideas of like it was built on religious beliefs and conceptions of how people perceive right and wrong, and they were basically saying that people can't enforce their own moral codes on other people.
Yeah, and they were also kind of saying that by creating this law that directly targets a group of people who are kind of characterized by this behavior, that is a direct attack of those people and not treating them as equal citizens. So, as you said, under the 14th Amendment, homosexuals should have the autonomy to make decisions regarding their personal life, just as any other equal citizen. And the last question is, do you think that gay rights is an issue of liberty, that is protection of individuals from the power of government, an issue of equality, that is equal protection, equal rights under the law, or neither?
We both agreed that it was an issue of equality under the law because they were being discriminated against. And that's not equal protection under the law.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, okay, so we're 5 minutes over, but did you guys want to go over those definitions from direct democracy before I let you go?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then I will hop on over to that one. If you can open the drive, good, but if you can't, then just look at the screen. And you can go on later.
Oh, which one is it?
It's gonna be the Direct Democracy Study Guide.
There's 3 of them.
There's
Oh.
2.
There's 3, one up top, next to civil rights.
I don't see that one.
It might have copied multiple times when I opened it into like the actual Google Docs.
Well, because they're a little different though.
No, it's the second one.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see you're on it.
I'm gonna remove the extra copies.
Which one are you in?
The Direct Democracy Study Guide.
Obviously.
Let me get rid of the extras.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, cool. Just have one open now.
Okay.
And of course, it's not, the definitions aren't there. That's why we have the study guide. We have this right here. All right. So, real quick, what is direct democracy?
Where the people directly dictate what the laws should be without going through a legislation.
Better way to say it, without having to go through a representative. They can
Yes.
directly vote on what they want. They don't have to have a representative say, hey, this is what the people want. The people say, this is what we want.
Right.
And so, what is an initiative?
I don't think we have the same one as you.
Yeah. Oh no, it's there.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, because it's
And then here, I
just
just
pasting
added
it right there. Okay.
Okay, so what is an initiative? Okay, here's a better question. It also goes by another name. What's a proposition in California?
So an initiative or a proposition is something that is put forward by the people and gains public favor.
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah, but it's something that people have to get a certain amount of signatures on a petition, and then the proposition gets put onto the ballot, and then people vote on it, and if it's passed, then it becomes a law. So you're on the right track, but just need a little bit more refinement.
Mm.
So that's like, for example, Prop 8, the proposition to ban gay marriage in California. That was an initiative created by a citizen, and that was then put onto the ballot because it had enough popular support. but now it's been struck down by the Supreme Court. So, yay! So, what is a recall?
A recall in
On what?
A recall in the political context.
Is it like a recall election or?
Yeah, it's a recall election.
Oh, it's a procedure by which voters can remove an elected official from office.
Yep. So that happened to the governor that came before the governor, aka Arnold Schwarzenegger. And so that's what he was. You know, at California, we can't help ourselves from Republican celebrities. First Reagan, then Schwarzenegger, then well, Trump's New York, but that's a whole other ballgame. But yeah, so basically, the governor that came before Schwarzenegger wasn't doing a good job, and so enough people signed a petition to have a recall on him during the next election and stuff, and so that's how they got him kicked out of office before it was the end of his term.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And so all of this stuff is going to be in your governing California. For direct democracy, really read the governing California text.
Wasn't that kind of like impeaching the president?
Yeah, essentially, it's kind of like that, but it's a faster process because it's through a direct election by the people.
Impeachment is not by the people?
No, impeachment is not by the people. First, actually, the House of Representatives has to agree to impeach the president, and then he's sent to the Supreme Court, and then they decide if he's actually going to be impeached.
So if the House is all or mostly Republican, then that's probably never going to happen, right?
Yeah, and that's why. Well, but also Pence is worse than Trump, so there's that, and Pence is the devil. Trump is
assassination.
Trump is just a stupid puppet. But real quick, let's get on to referendums, because I'm sure some of you guys want to get out of here.
Nope.
We have food to eat and stuff. So what's a referendum? It's really similar to an initiative. And feel free to use Google.
A direct vote in which the entire electorate is asked to vote on a particular proposal. That's what I got from Google.
Yeah. So basically, something is passed in the California legislature, and then it's taken to the people, and then they decide if they want to pass it or not, rather than it going to the governor and him vetoing it or not. So yeah, and then Federalist 10 is about factions, and so I would say, because I know some people started on it and had some problems. Did you look at Wikipedia or the Spark Notes for it?
No.
Do that.
Okay.
And reread it.
There's a summary that's really good.
Yeah. On Wikipedia?
You can just type in Federalist 10 summary, and it basically the first half of the entire text talks about it, and then at some point he starts to diatribe into how it pertains to other things afterwards. But you'll find it. It's one of the first few in there.
Is it Cliff Notes?
Let me look it up right now.
No, like
so
Wikipedia, I think.
Federalist 10 summary.
Yeah, and then I think it's just the very first one,
Which is
possibly.
Cliff Notes for me.
Mine's Grade Saver.
Yeah, Grade Saver.
Okay.
I didn't read the Cliff
Save
Notes
that
one,
grade.
So,
but I found this one pretty helpful.
yeah,
And I wrote
okay.
my insight on this one, so
Oh, really? Wow.
yeah. Even though
It's like the
we weren't
hardest
supposed
one.
Okay,
Yeah.
No, so he's like an overachiever and like already did his second insight, even though
Don't tell him
I didn't have like you haven't done the second insight sign up that's happening after.
By overachiever, she means I
break.
don't follow directions.
I
Yeah.
know. I signed up for 2. But,
Yeah, see, I'm not the only one.
but then he told me, he was like, you only get 1. So
Yeah.
he gave me 1.
Gotcha. Well, so from Brian, Grade Saver is a good one as well, for like these Federalist essays. And then Rita had a little thing to say as well, about an extra credit event. Could you tell what that is?
Oh, so on Wednesday? On Wednesday, we have 11 points extra credit. I think we're meeting in the Union. I think it's 5:30 to 7:30. I'm not really sure because he posted it on the on Tax CT.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could just look at that and it's 11 points. So I just asked her if would it be okay if I just go there instead of during our SI class.
Because it's happening Wednesday at 6.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to not come to the SI and go to
It's
the extra credit event.
It's actually starting at 5. Oh, 5 to 7:30. Oh. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, either way. So it's happening during the SI class. So if you guys want to go, just shoot me an email and tell me that you're going to go to that instead of the SI class, and then I'll still count you for your attendance and everything. Because I'd rather you guys get, a third of your possible extra credit points than, like have to come to class and stuff.
Well, thank you.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I'm trying to help you.
Yeah.
Does that starts at 5? But do I have class till 5:45? Can I show up at like whenever?
Let me
Probably.
see what it actually is.
It's like a movie.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a movie?
Film.
Oh.
Oh, and you have to write an essay about it or something to turn in for
Yeah.
extra credit.
Yeah,
There's
stay for the
There's also a panel discussion.
Oh,
Mm.
this would help if I read directions.
Yeah, Brian. Maybe you would have done your insight already. But
Okay.
yeah, you could probably find out what the film is, and then like find the film online,
Mhm.
and then turn it in.
Cool.
So that's another option for people if that doesn't work for their time schedules. But yeah, so that's that. You guys have any other questions that you want to have answered before I let you go? Sound good? All right. I will see you tomorrow or on Wednesday. Okay,
All right.
bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
I have a quick question about the